Welcome guys to another tutorial. So today we're going to be looking at something different. Today I'm going to show you how you can design a website from scratch with AI. How you can design any website, you know, with AI and 10x your development time. So we're going to be using AI, and the AI we're going to be using is just ChatGPT. You don't need to use premium for this. It's not necessary. So we're going to be using purely AI to design the website, and then we're going to modify it into our own taste. So let's assume that I want to design a website, a blog website. So today we are going to be looking at, we're going to be focusing on the back end. Next week I'll be doing for the front end. So let's imagine you have a project from a client, and the you're asked to design a blog for them. So this tutorial is for people who have basic understanding of programming, especially Node.js, focusing on Node and JavaScript. Basically, Node, JavaScript, and Next.js, which is the same thing as React, because Next is based on React. It's a framework. So, but today we'll be working on the back end for this login site. So we're going to be using ChatGPT to work on this totally. So the first thing you want to do is you want to probably have planned your project, have it planned out. In this tutorial, I'm not going to be going through the process of planning and all that. For it will be in my premium course, and in that course you see the process of planning your application, and a whole lot of other things. You go really into AI, priming AI. You learn about prompts, you know, and all that. So basically, the first thing you want to do, is to tell ChatGPT what you want it to do. So this time we want it to design the backend for a blogging website. I'm just going to show you how you can use the AI very briefly in this tutorial. I'm not going to take so long. But in my premium course, you're going to see, I'm going to go deep into it. So for this course, we just go on the surface. So let's imagine I need a backend for a blog. There are two ways to it. We can take it step by step, or we can just prompt ChatGPT at once. So both of them works well. The other method works better, you know, guiding it and directing it instead of just prompting it at once. So, but in this tutorial, I'm just going to prompt the AI. So I'm going to tell the AI what we want to do. So we want a backend which is written in Node Express.js. It will have an authentication, and it will have a blog, which means it will have a post. in it. And the major feature we're focusing on is the blog. So people can come and create blog, post blog, delete blog, post. So it's a CRUD operation. So so let's go on and prompt our AI. So I'll tell it I want to log a backend for a login website, and I want the backend to be written in Node.js framework. Comma, make sure to use async. You provide as much information as possible. If you are prompting it at once, async await. So we want this to be a plugin website, a backend. We want to use async await. And we also want to use ES6, ES5, ES6. Module import system, and we also want it to write some tests for the application, and we also need a readme application. So and we want our secret to be in an env file. So these are all what we're going to inform ChatGPT. Sync await and ES5, ES6. Import full stop. I also want you to write tests for the API and a read the log backend would also have authentication and authorization. Users can be either a subscriber or an author. What else do we want? Okay, let's give it a little information about. Okay, I think this is okay. We'll do that later. Okay, now we also need to talk about our secret. So I think that's enough for now. That's enough information. You can add more as same thing fit. So the next thing you want to do is you want it to work on this and generate the backend for us. You can see in this method you can 10x your development time. you know I won't advise you if you're just starting out writing code to use this method, as you know it tends to make you lazy. But you must know what you are doing first of all before going into this method. I advise you to at least to know what you are doing, to be proficient in whatever it is you are doing before you. Oh, I'm going to stop the generation. I want to tell it to use MongoDB. I didn't mention that. Okay, it's using MongoDB already. But let me just mention it. Make sure you use Express framework and MongoDB as the database. So this should be okay. I just remembered something else. It's a mistake. But we're going to leave it to complete that. And then we're going to modify it so that we'll have two versions of it. You can see that it's even writing our middleware, the authentication middleware for us. So if you're a back-end developer, you know, merely seeing it, but you can see that it's not using the import. It's not using the import module. It's using require module. So I'm still going to fix that in the next one also. You can see the route here. Oh, sorry. It should be year 6, year 7. I wrote year 5. It should be year 6, year 7. That's why it's making that mistake. You can see that it has generated our app for us. Everything is here, the routes. This is the route to get the posts, the route for the users. You know, to register. You can see here, it's now importing it in the main file, which is the app.js. We have the middleware here, we have the controller, generated the controller for us. This is the post controller. This is user controller. This is the auth controller where the login and the sign up happens. So it handles everything for you. You can see the model here. This is the post model. You can see that there is no image. There should be an image field in this post schema. This model, there should be an image field for the image associated with the post. Also, the user need to have another field. It should be admin. Admin should be able to approve. So one thing is, as you are doing it, you also get more insights. So by the time we are prompting it, the final prompt, so by then, we will work on a lot of mistakes that was made the first time we're going to update those. So let's start updating the prompt. So instead of updating it here, I'm just going to copy it and update it here as a second prompt that I'm going to use. So as I said, backend, and I want the backend to be written in Node, Express, MongoDB as a database. Yes, make sure to use async with an ES6, ES6, ES7. So ES6, ES7 module imports. Do not use common JS import. Okay, so that's what we call negative prompting. So that's why you need to get the pro, because I'm going to teach you a lot of things about prompting, how to prompt. So anyway, let's go on. We talked about what are the things we talked about. We talked about the user having an additional field. So the user can either be a subscriber, author, or admin. Author or admin. So okay. You also need their first name. And last name. First name, last name, and username. what else? So I think that's that for the user. Then for the post, we need a additional image field. A title, content, content, main image, and author field. Author fields. So for this, you can use JWT tokens. Yes, user controller. Protect and authorize. Okay, I think that's the most important thing. You also need cause, you know, and also make sure to secure this. Also make sure to secure the application using. That's why you need to have a little bit of technical knowledge. It's advisable to have a little bit of technical knowledge because sometimes AI will not give you the correct answer the first time. You need to, you know, adjust and to direct it like I'm doing now. So we need to secure the using modules like helmet and cause. Don't forget to allow for Postman testing in cause settings. So all these things also need experience. You need to have a little bit of knowledge of all these things. So I think that's the most important. So let's go on. I should have continued. You know, continued the previous one because it didn't finish. It didn't finish generating. But let's just because we'll be using this one, not the previous one. Let's continue with this. See, it has updated the module. It has updated the schema, the user schema. First name, last name, username is there. Now password role. In the role he added admin. Or he didn't mention to allow admin approve posts. But let's see if it will do that. This is a post. You can see it even if it created a reference to the user object that it must author field must be user ID. You can see these are middleware, protect, and the authorize. These are our routes for registration and login. This is get user routes, authorizes by the admin. So we have the post route to get posts, create a post. We didn't create so we still need the update route and the delete route. So you can see, let's continue. So that's the end of it. So let's now create our app, and then we'll continue extending it. This is the folder structure. So I'm just going to run this command to create and install everything. I'm going to run the command where I want it to. So I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to call it my client blog. So I'm going to open the terminal here. And I'm going to paste all this. So while we wait for this to install, let us set up it has created another folder inside. So let's open our code editor inside this folder. So I'm going to open with code. While it is being installed, you can see that it has installed the packages. Now it's installing the test. So while it does that, I'm just going to split my screen here and create the folder structure. So I need a controllers. I don't know, let me see if that's it's not, the code is not there. So, controllers, we need controllers, we need middleware. It should be in the root folder. Then we need the routes. We need tests. This should also be the mask again. It should also be in the root folder. So I think that's it. We have the tests, we have the routes, we have the models now. It should be in the root folder. Models. So we have the models also. So it has finished installing. So I can close this now. So you can see we have our Mongoose there, and we have our script here. So I still need to update this to run our script. Let's just create the dev script. Yeah. That would be node1. I didn't install node1 because it has been installed globally on my system. So I don't need to be installing it every time. Node1 app.js. Now after doing that, we can create our env file .env. Copy this, and then we're going to change this to our Mongo URL. I'm going to show you how you can get one. You can get one by going to your Mongo Atlas, registering on Mongo Atlas. So let's see if we can do that now. So I've already registered, so I won't be going through the process of registering again. I'll just sign in and generate one. So while we wait for this also, let's continue what we're doing here. The models.user, I want to go into model and user.js, copy and paste. You can see we are using these imports. So I need to scroll down. Posts. And the next one should be auth controller. Auth controller. User controller. Post controller. And middleware, auth middleware. This is the wrong thing I'm posting. Auth middleware. Routes. Auth routes. User routes. then post routes. Then we have the main. So that's basically it. Oh, this is not. You see why I said you need to have a little bit knowledge. It was a mistake there. I need to also close this one. You can see. So I'm just going to save all just in case I've missed anything. So you can see everything is now to test that everything is working well. It's just we haven't updated the Mongo URI, but let's just try to run dev. You can see saying cannot use import statement outside the module. Okay, to use an import statement, you need to put type here, type, set it to module. Yeah, you can see it is starting up. It has started up. It has started up. So the MongoDB has connected to my local version of MongoDB. That's why it's going. Yours might not go. You need to get a URL. I'm going to be showing you how to get that in the next tutorial, and we are going to be testing our application. So you can see our server is running on 3000 and the DB is connected. So our app is currently working, but we haven't tested it. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be testing the app, and we are also going to be doing doing some other things. Like I'm going to be showing you about MongoDB at last. That's going to be a tutorial on this one. We're going to generate a user, generate a password, authentication for a user, and then we're going to generate the string, the MongoDB string, and we're also going to be testing our application before we move on to part 2, which will be the front end. So see you guys. See you later. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe for more tutorials like this. See you next time.